Away from that, a new crude-for-loan deal between the federal government and Saudi Arabia oil company Aramco worth $5 billion has stalled following the recent decline in crude prices. Now, the deal, according to reports, hit a brick wall after fresh market indices sparked concern among banks that were expected to back the deal. Lower oil price means Nigeria could need more barrels to back the loan, but years of underinvestment are complicating its ability to meet production goals. The latest development comes weeks after Tinubu sought approval for $21.5 billion in foreign borrowing last month to bolster the budget. To help make sense of this, we're joined by an energy consultant, Seun Dania. He joins us from London. Welcome, Seun.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Now, let's start with the basics. Help us make sense of the $5 billion crude-for-loan deal involving Aramco.
So this deal is essentially a financing agreement where Nigeria will borrow $5 billion from a consortium of banks. And Saudi Aramco, playing a key role as a facilitator and an off-taker for the crude. So in return, Nigeria would repay the loan by supplying crude. I think what was agreed about at least 100,000 barrels per day to Saudi Aramco, and Saudi Aramco pays off the banks. So this is usually what is referred to as like an oil-backed loan. It is a common mechanism that is used by oil-producing countries to secure cash upfront when pledging future oil productions. And I think the deal was first disclosed when they had the Saudi African Summit in 2023 between the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia and our President Bola Tinubu. And it's part of the Nigerian broader $21.5 billion foreign borrowing plan that we required to fund our budget.
Okay, now, but how directly tied was this loan to expectations around crude oil prices?
It's tightly linked to crude oil prices. So when prices are high, Nigeria can commit fewer barrels of oil to repay the loan, making it more attractive for lenders. But since the crude oil price is about 20% from the time when the agreement was done, it's down to about 65 barrels per day or thereabout. It means that Nigeria will need to supply more barrels of crude oil for the same dollar value payment that we need to make. That's now increasing the risks for the banks. And the deal was structured assuming that the range probably used about $75 per barrel based on historical trends. And right now, it's a little lower. It makes it very difficult for both the lenders and Nigeria to meet up with its obligations.
Right. Now, Seun, this deal was stalled partly because there are misgivings that Nigeria may not meet its obligations, in terms of daily production output, as lowering oil price would mean more crude. How much damage could underinvestment in infrastructure be doing to the country?
I mean, this is something everyone has been singing since. Nigeria needs to invest in infrastructure, it needs to invest in a lot of security because we are largely an oil-dependent country. And so right now, Nigeria is struggling to even maintain 1.5 million barrels per day. Very fall short of our budgeted 2 million barrels per day. And because of this decay in infrastructure, pipeline sabotage and all of these things. So it's pretty much like trying to take a mortgage. Trying to mortgage a property that you don't have access to. So basically, we are trying to trade futures of oil that we are not even producing, and that's like a red flag for most lenders.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Seun, for your time and for speaking on this.